Well, I was wrong. Hi mates and welcome to my first video reaction to my first video speak completely in English. Well, you can see what is my NFL team, so I am happy. I had a revenge. I had a Super Bowl with dominant players in the defense and a good offense with a touchdown with a tush push, a touchdown with a pass to AJ Brown, pass to Devonta Smith, and well, Pickett plays the Super Bowl 59 and a Super Bowl before than the Cowboys in the Century 21. So, uh, well, we stay here for take a video reaction to my predictions by the season 2024 by the NFL. I need to say I am failed with the format to competition. I think only the one and the two teams can play in the playoffs, but the I don't know what is the division in the NFC, but the Vikings, the Green Bay, and another team I can't remember what, but another team can play the playoffs. Three teams by one division, so it can be a fail for my part, for my understand by the competition by the NFL. But no problem. It's the first time. It's the first prediction, um, and I don't know. So, well, uh, I need to see the prediction, and I need to say 2 points. The first, when I assert the position of the team in my prediction, I had 2 points. If I fail with only one floor, for example, I say, I don't know, for example, the Jets can fight for the playoffs, and the Jets stay too close for play playoffs or play the final conference, but it isn't the case. Um, I had 1 point, and if I fail, like I see the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl, and the Detroit Lions doesn't arrive to the final of the conference. I had 0 points, so it's 32 teams. I can be at these points, so I think if I can assert 32 points, the 50% of of the predictions, I think it's a good prediction. So let's go. Technical problems. I haven't my notebook with the notes by this reaction, so I did now and continue with the with the reaction for me. So we start. And the here is the tier list. The team sits in order than the tier list, so it's more or less um, interesting the order. But it is my prediction by the season 2024 and 2025 by NFL. First team, the Saints. For me, it's in without playoffs, but with a good season. And no, the Saints stay without playoffs and all bad. They had this record. It's very much defeat than the victories. So 1 point because I only failed with one floor. So 1 point. First point. I think what their group isn't um, hard, but I see another teams that will be more points than Saints. So uh, I speak less from this tier list because I haven't much arguments, and it's so hard for me speak the arguments in the case that I really have. So continue. Miami Dolphins, for me, Miami Dolphins it's without playoffs and so bad. And in this case, it's in the other floor. And Miami Dolphins had a without playoffs, but a good season. I think it's too close. The percentage to victories and the percentage to losses. So another point, 2 by 4. It's good, But yes, the Dolphins made a better job than the Saints in this season. No, no more. The Baltimore Ravens. I think what is in playoffs. 2 points, and they stay in the playoffs, and they lost versus the Bills. With the last season was very good. I think what they will be in the Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl never arrived. So continue. The Bengals. For me, it's without playoffs. It's impressive. The points that they doesn't score and they recite. So without playoffs. And I'll had a point. They made most touchdowns, most points with Joe Burrow. But the problem was the defense. It doesn't work if you score 35 points, but you lost by 38 points. So, yes, but 1 point because Bengals at the end of the season had a good season, but without playoffs. Literally, they stay at one defeat by the Kansas City versus Broncos to arrive at the playoffs, but Kansas used the second team for this match, and the Broncos take the playoffs ticket. So 1 point. Bengals had a good season, but without playoffs. The first, I don't know if it's uh, surprise or something, but I see the matches by Broncos, and I think well, they arrive at Super Bowl. In my defense, well, this is the first season that I see the most of games for one a team or sometimes another teams, and I see the preseason, and I think the Broncos can fight for the Super Bowl. Um, After I discovered that the quarterback by the Broncos are rookie, and for example, the rookie most successful in this season was Jaden Daniels in Washington. So, well, it's a big mistake, but it's a mistake in general, not only with this team. So, 0 points in this moment because the Broncos stay in the playoffs, but they didn't arrive at the final of the conference. So, 1 point it isn't impossible. Uh, no, I never see a good Broncos because well, I see the NFL since 2017 approximately. So um, since this year, I never see a Broncos with a competitive team. But I don't know, it's a field, I don't know. The Broncos, the Broncos feel me. So continue. And the New York Giants. The New York Giants without playoffs, but with a good season. Uh, Number no. The first, thank you, Giants. Without Saquon Barkley, maybe we can't arrive at the Super Bowl in the first step. In the Super Bowl, uh, doesn't the best game or a good game by Saquon Barkley, but well, more than 130 yards in practically all the playoffs, all the matches but the playoffs. It's a good. Thank you, Giants. And second, the Giants season was a disaster. So no, 1 point only. And well, I had one by the Bengals, one by the Ah, Dolphins, one by the Saints, one by the New York Giants, and two for the Baltimore. So let's go. Arguments. I didn't argument. So the Vikings. The Vikings without playoffs with a good season. In first point, I think it's the Vikings. The pronunciation, it's the Vikings, and I had 1 point. Another because the Vikings arrive at the playoffs, so 1 point. It's all. Um, the Rams. Rams for me, it's in playoff. 2 points in playoff, and the Rams are one touchdown to arrive at the final of the conference. It's a hard match for Philadelphia, so it's a very good prediction. I don't know how they can be, but they can. Buccaneers in playoffs, leader by their group. Detroit Lions. Calm, calm, calm. Buccaneers in playoffs. Yes, another 2 points for it. Buccaneers. I wanna fight for a vengeance, revenge. Well, a revenge by the last season with the last play to Jason Kelsey with the Philadelphia Eagles. What it can be. When, well, uh, the other result, Detroit Lions forgot it. I can remember that it's in the final of the conference, so I write another point because I say Detroit Lions are in the final of the conference and only stay in playoffs, and they lost versus Rams, I think. No, Rams, Vikings. No, versus Washington. Washington. So 1 point. I say in more. I say in another minute that I was a mistake. So no problem. In playoffs too, leader by their group too. I think it's yes, the Bears. The logo is bad, like the team. For me, the Bears sits in without playoffs. Another 2 points. The Bears sits without playoffs and was a disaster and all bad. 49ers by San Francisco. For me, is in the Super Bowl. It was logical, man. They arrived at two Super Bowls in the last 5 years. They had a good team, a good receivers, a quarterback that I liked, Brock Purdy. So it's logical that I want to see in the Super Bowl. It's more extremely that the Broncos in the Super Bowl 20, well, in the Super Bowl 59 in 2025. But the San Francisco isn't a bad prediction. So at the end, it's a very bad prediction because they are without playoffs and not a disaster. 0 points and well, a disaster. For a first time in the last four years, I think the Chiefs isn't in the Super Bowl for my prediction. But I think another mistake. The Chiefs arrive at the Super Bowl for a third time in a row, but they can win the Super Bowl for three time in a row. That San Francisco can arrive again. Uh, my team, I love Philadelphia Eagles, but I just try to think and say um realistic uh, prediction. So I think what we are in the um, playoffs, but we stay in wild card or something. 0 points again because well, who is the champion? But it only can be a 1 point if I select a final of the conference. But I fail, and well, you say what I think of Kansas, so 2 points no. Riders for me is in without playoffs, but a good season. Only 1 point because the Riders was a disaster and without playoffs and all in disaster, so 1 point. Continue. Green Bay is in a playoffs. Another 2 points. Green Bay stayed in a playoff and they lost in the first match versus Philadelphia. Okay. Um, the Washington Commanders is out. Yes, it's a disaster this part. I think I only make my prediction by the last 2 seasons, and Washington was a disaster. I don't consider it the offensive coordinator of defensive coordinator of the new quarterback, so it was a really big surprise, and will make me 0 points because, well, 0 points. You know what happened. I really hate its new logo. Well, um, Cardinals without playoffs and 1 point because the Cardinals stay without playoffs, but a good season, so only 1 point. But it is a prediction so crazy now. It's strange because in 2009 and 2012 and like uh, it's so common see this team in the Super Bowls or in conference, but now it's strange, and I bet that the Steelers will be in the final of the AFC conference. But they will be beat versus Broncos. Okay, first point, it couldn't happen because the Steelers have won less matches in the last 9 years than Super Bowls by Philadelphia Eagles. Literally, they doesn't win a playoff match since 2016, if I am correct. So a disaster. I only 1 point because they arrive at the playoffs and they are banned by Washington, Baltimore Ravens. So next, the Bills. It's a team with a constantly uh, fight for the title, but they never arrive at final at the conference. And the reason is it's a city, but I think what they are in the playoffs. And well, it's still the same. Kansas City, it's the break to to the Bills, and Josh Allen can beat Patrick Mahomes like Tom Brady and Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts. So 1 point because they are in the final of the conference, and in my prediction, it's in playoffs. Falcons without playoffs with a good season. The Seahawks another 2 points for the Falcons without a playoffs but with a good season. Another 2 points. The 2 points because yes, Seahawks still at 1 win, I think. Some like Patriots. I not remember what was the last time that I see a Patriots for 2 reasons. One, they never arrive, and the second, they arrive, but in the match never did something interesting, and they are eliminated. So, and for first time since a pair of years, I think that the Patriots is on the playoffs. Another big mistake. At the end, the Patriots was the second or third uh, most bad team in the NFL. Uh, Only Tennessee and another team I can't remember what was worse than they. So 0 points. Well, Browns without play. Okay, another 2 points. Browns without playoffs and a bad season. Texans, like the last season, in playoffs. Kansas, two in playoffs because I zero by Kansas. They stay in the Super Bowl, so 0 points. I because I select the two teams in the final of the conference, so it's a easy analysis. Uh, the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will be in the playoffs. My predictions. It's based in only professional opinion, for example. But now, when I discovered the rivalry into Philadelphia Giants, Cowboys, and Commanders, well, Washington Redskins, it's better. Um, I think this information can change my opinion by the Cowboys, and I think the 30 years only represent don't arrive at the Super Bowl, no, don't arrive at the final conference. So my prediction isn't bad because the last year the Cowboys was the first place in the NFC East. So well, now it's different, my opinion. Well, my final my conference finals are mm, strange, but it's that I see. Well, continue. The Chargers. For me, the Chargers, it's without playoffs and a big mistake. Chargers was in the playoffs and well, mm, 0 points. The New York Jets will be without playoffs, but a good season. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. Nope, without playoffs and all that. At the point that Aaron Rodgers doesn't um, play with the Jets anymore, so another 1 point at least, so 1 point. The Panthers, Jaguars, the worst is here. The Panthers, without playoffs and all that, another 2 points. I think. For me, the Titans without playoffs, but a good season. No, the Titans at the end of the season are the worst team, and they had the first ticket to the draft, so only 1 point. The Colts without playoffs and all that. 1 point for me. The Colts had a not bad season, but without playoffs. And finally, the Jaguars without playoffs, and I just recorded 16 minutes, and I just think that I need well, the Jaguars another 2 points because it was a disaster of the season. Recording again for the mistake by the Detroit Lions, but no. So it is my predictions in the playoffs. Stay Baltimore. Okay, now I edit the video for take the points by all the predictions. Since my notes, I had a 35 points to 64 possibles. So I think a good prediction for the first time. The next season I can change some things like the part of without playoffs can reduce to only six places, not eight. The part of the without playoffs and all that, I think only say without playoffs and negative record, like 7 victories and 10 losses. So okay, well, this was my predictions. At the end, the Super Bowl doesn't have Broncos and the 49ers. the Super Bowl at the end was Chiefs versus Eagles. The final of the conference doesn't see Steelers and the Lions. We see Bills and Commanders. And in playoffs, it's more equilibrated. I only feel avergonzado because I don't know how to say by take the Patriots in the playoffs. In the other, the Titans in a good season without playoffs, and in playoffs, see the Bengals. So well, this is my first video reaction to my first video completely recorded in English. So it's all. I don't know. I believe that you enjoy this video. If you don't, well, no problem. It's the video more for me than all the world for my bad English and the practice and the necessity of edit something. So it's all. So a good 2025 and very good next season by NFL. And this time, really, wait for the video by Deliveries, the Formula One 2025, and another time, my prediction of the Constructor Championship. So, for this time, I don't know how, I don't know where, and I don't know what topic, but I really wanna see you in this channel. Bye, mates!